Alright, for those who are still kicking around, I will go ahead and read out the log here. So, let me go ahead and bring it up again. So, the R.I.F. Heartless Captain's Log. Venturing gear, standard, 25 gold pieces, weighs only 5 pounds. The interior of the book says Captain's Log, Imperium property, belonging to Captain Reginald Caemlin, Captain of the R.I.F. Heartless. Entry number 27, 4th of Alturiac, 1501 DR. Admiral Ithgalia has assigned the R.I.F. Heartless to transport a lockbox from Koliar to Glyth for the war. Glyth is under heavy attack from Hekatha tyrants, and this petite lockbox is going to help? While we remain in their good graces, I think they overestimate their abilities and underestimate ours as GIF. I refused Admiral Ithgalia's recommendation to bring an Alithid aboard. Despite the Imperium's alliance with Glyth, I do not trust them, and to my last day, I will never see these aberrations on the Heartless. We have received a new spelljammer, Helmsman Indua Mazal, a handsome human with a strange wooden necklace in the shape of one of Toral's native whales. He is a rookie with above-average marks from Spelljammer Academy. This is a very simple delivery mission and a perfect job for our newest Spelljammer. Entry number 28, 6th of Alturiac 1501 DR. We lost. On our way to Glyth, we intercepted a tyrant ship which severed us from the signal and fantail decks, where our spelljamming helm was housed with the lockbox. Quartermaster Arthur Fole saved us when he erected a stone wall to seal off the water from the cannon deck to the below deck. We are saved from the instincts of my comrades and the superior construction of Imperium GIF shipcraft. I am at a loss for action. The helm remains near, but I fear the current will separate us from it. In the case of a crash, or if we sink, bombards can protect themselves from stone and fluid, but the helm is critical. It emanates an aura easily detected by spelljammers, both magical and psionic. I am afraid, and the creaking of the Heartless under the weight of Carpri's oceans puts the crew in a hopeless disposition. I cannot waver in my optimism, nor can I despair. My comrades need me, and I aim to be there for them. Entry number 29, unknown. The grandfather clock has ceased to function. Time and dating is now guesswork. I assume it is 2 days since I wrote the previous log. The sun has disappeared under the deep dark blue of the water. Quartermaster Arthur Fole is a talented elementalist, and conjures air to stave off suffocation, maintaining our survival. We see the marine snow falling faster than us. The cannon weighs down the Heartless, and will drag us to the bottom of these waters. We confirm we are caught by a current and are being dragged by it. Nightmares plague my comrades' dreams. They wake up and pace the companionway, while others scream in their slumber. The pressures of the deep are affecting their minds. We have food and water in storage long enough to last 6 months, and I will allow them to have their fill. They are quiet, and unsure whether they will make it out of this alive. I tell them they will, but the longer we sink, the more they doubt we will. I woke to a strange disturbance in my quarters. After my last 2 paragraphs, I was settling into my slumber when I heard wood dragging on wood. I opened the shutters of my lantern with a tall, thin, dark shape standing in my quarters, only to vanish a moment after being illuminated. Nothing appeared moved, nor touched, but soon after First Mate Torgo Sigil was frightened he had felt something move his bed. I ordered the Quartermaster Arthur Fole to search for magical activity, but after a thorough investigation, no residual magic was detected. I am not sure I know what I saw. The crew has been suffering from nightmares, and I may be doing the same. I miss my daughter Kimmy, and I hope to see her again when this is over. Entry number 30, unknown. I saw Kimmy in my dreams last night, just as I saw her on Xerixis. I woke up waiting for her to jump into my bed before I rose to my foul reality, and the sounds of the underwater currents. My heart desires her presence more than I feel a duty to the Imperium. When this is over, I will resign, and spend the rest of my years raising Kimmy. Torgo is a good leader who can hold his nerve and commands well. He would make a good captain. Comrade Cleanser Thomas discovered a familiar trinket in the cargo hold. A wooden whale necklace, the same as Helmsman Indua's. This discovery has shaken the crew. We know Helmsman Indua died when he was separated from the ship. Cleanser was adamant Indua was wearing the necklace during the battle with the tyrant ship. I have confiscated the trinket and told the crew that there is little more to be done now. This is a distraction, and we must maintain ourselves both in mind and body. We are the gift of the Imperium, and we should conduct ourselves as such, even when times are most desperate. A creature bludgeoned the Heartless. It struck with such formidable force we are certain it was purposeful. It roared in a deep and monstrous tone. We retreated to the companionway should another blow strike. It did not, and we sustained minor damage and a small leak in the cargo hold. Upon returning to my quarters, I was immediately greeted with an excessive congregation of stark, white, twin-tailed whales, no larger than a horse, swimming around the Heartless. We are very deep in the ocean now. I do not know how they can survive down here. We lost daylight days ago, and it is a long way to the surface. Entry number 31, unknown. I have spent the last few hours watching the whales. None of them have left. I observed one for quite some time and never saw them leave to the surface to breathe. These are quite exceptional animals indeed. Kimmy would have loved them. We have changed course. We are being pulled on a stronger current than before. It was very sudden, and stressed the morale of the crew, causing a fight between two comrades. Despite my commands and position, it took several minutes to break up the two, one of which stated, "We are going to die down here, and you're postponing it." I asked my fellow comrades to lock him in his quarters for the time being until he had recovered his nerve. I do not know if he is right, but I do not blame him for his outburst. It's most assuredly been days sinking to the bottom of Carpre's bottomless oceans. Quartermaster Arthur Fole has said that he feels the Spelljammer helm is trailing behind us on the new current, but at these depths, I doubt anyone will find us. Entry number 32, unknown. Comrade Cleanser killed a fellow comrade, the first of our crew whose mind has succumbed to these desperate, hopeless conditions. At first, we smelled a foul and familiar scent in the companionway. Forcing ourselves into his quarters, we were assaulted by the metallic taste of blood in the air. Cleanser had gutted Comrade Theodore. Using Comrade Theodore's severed fingers as paintbrushes, he had written on the walls, in blood, in a language we could not read. First Mate Torgo and I took Comrade Cleanser into the non-gift quarters. During our small trek, he repeated, "He calls for us to join the depths." These maddening babbles had convinced me of his danger, and upon dropping him in the quarters, I closed the door and executed Comrade Cleanser with my pistol. I have told the crew he would endanger them, and needed to be killed for everyone's safety. The crew are now cowed by my act. This is good for now, but it will not last. Violence is the last answer in these kinds of desperate survival situations. In their eyes, a proud and decorated captain of the Imperium is now but a crazed and menacing tyrant. I regret my rash decision to execute Cleanser. I could have easily isolated him in those quarters. It is not characteristic of an Imperium captain to make such decisions without extended contemplation, especially now. But there is nothing to be done for it now, and it will not be long until the others challenge my flimsy rule. The worst of it all? Torgo told me Cleanser had said nothing when we dragged him into those quarters. I have sent the quartermaster and first mate to collect the weapons from everyone under the guise of safety. I must command for as long as possible, and removing any killing power from their hands is the only way to do so. I will not sleep well tonight. Entry number 33, unlisted. Myself and first mate Torgo Sigil are all who remain. I was roused from my sleep from the shouting crew. We had locked the doors to our quarters, the wardroom, and the aft promenade. We heard them beating on my locked door, seeking to perform a general mutiny. This had come faster than I had believed, but not but a few hours after Comrade Cleanser's death. Quartermaster Arthur Fole was the first to die when they burst through the door. 6, rageful gift with a bloodshot anger in their eyes unnatural to them. Torgo and I shot and murdered all 6, and moved their bodies, including Cleanser's, to the wardroom where their bodies will remain until we are rescued. During their movement, I found the wooden whale necklace. I did not realize it had been stolen from my quarters. Torgo and I raided the cargo hold for any alcohol we could procure, and sat beside my desk and drank. I know we both were looking to poison ourselves over the event that had just transpired. Torgo asked me our chances of rescue, and I gave an uninspiring answer. He was asleep, drunk on the floor not after that. I watched the whale swimming past the aft promenade until I, too, succumbed to the exhaustion and regretted the day. Entry number 34, unlisted. Kimmy visited me in my dreams again, and she asked me questions in the middle of the ocean. She asked me about my fellow comrades, where I told her everything I wanted to say, but had no heart to say to anyone in reality, relieving a weight on my heart and mind to uplift my spirits. I awoke, sad and disappointed to the sounds of my situation, and the smell of dead and decaying corpses. I fear for Torgo in his mind. He seems distant as of late, and has been wearing the necklace. I cannot judge his ways of mourning, nor can I command him of anything anymore. We are together, but we feel distant and apart. I hate to see him suffer, but his method of mourning and constant murmuring beneath his breath makes him a poor comrade to die with. I believe I heard Kimmy running through the companionway by the crew's quarters. After investigating, I heard and saw nothing but the grim darkness and creaking hull. I know I heard her. Something is tricking me, but I cannot say what it is. Until I know, I am powerless to stop it. Entry number 35, unlisted. Torgo is dead. It was not my doing, but his own. He wanted death rather than to face the collapse of the ocean around him or hold out hope for a rescue which may never come. He ran into my quarters and told me, "He is calling! He is calling! We must open the aft promenade and leave." I told him he was mad, and he would endanger everything we've done, everything our comrades had died for. He yelled, "If I am mad, it is mercy." We stopped talking for a few heartbeats, until he told me he knows everything will be alright if only he leaves. But I could not allow that. Opening the aft promenade would flood this deck, flood everything. He turned to the aft promenade door as I reached for my pistol and pulled the flintstone back. He did not evade, he did not open the door, but I knew he felt a sense of relief, knowing this desperate suffering would be over. I couldn't look at him. I turned towards the glass window where the whales, which had once been such a comfort, looked at me as malevolent witnesses to my terrible crime. I am alone, with a dim hope to see my daughter, Kimmy, on Xerxes one last time. Entry number 36, the final log. It has been a few days since I landed on the bottom of the ocean. The Heartless rests on a large, bright, and colorful coral reef, but larger than anything I have ever seen before. I am constantly haunted by my daughter, Kimmy, and the rest of the crew. They appear in my dreams, I hear them talking in the companionway, and any investigation proves they are but illusions. I see my crew, decayed and rotting in my dreams, to rip my limbs from my body. Even now, as I write this, I see my daughter Kimmy, tapping on the glass outside the ship. She wanted me to play with her. I want to make her happy, and I want to leave. Every time I turn away, I hear her weep. I have run to the glass window many times, and pleaded with her to come into my quarters. She never does, and all I can do is place my hand on the other side of the glass where her hand is. As I ignore her while writing this, she weeps, and my heart sinks as I feel every moment could be the last moment I see her, before she is gone forever. I am departing, and this is my final entry to this log. Fortunately for this book, Imperium ink protects and enchants the paper, and it should survive at these depths for years until the magic fades. I will leave the necklace wrapped around this logbook. I do not care to take it with me. I know this is a demented delusion, and if I am to die, it will be a great reprieve. I have no fear. If anyone recovers this logbook, tell Kimmy I love her, and I am sorry she must grow up without a father, and I will see her again one day. Resigning Captain Reginald Caemlin. So that was the log, guys.